You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. The Hazleton Police Department continues to investigate a hit-and-run incident that happened Saturday night. Police released photos of the vehicle that fled the scene after hitting a juvenile male while he was riding his bike on Poplar Street. The victim was transported to a regional trauma center for further treatment of his injuries. Authorities determined that the vehicle is a white 2007 to 2014 Chevy Silverado with an extended cab. The vehicle should have damage to the passenger's side front end and possibly the passenger headlight. Anyone with information on the vehicle or driver is being asked to contact the Hazleton Police Department or dial 911. A man accused of kidnapping and killing 2 women pled not guilty to the charges. Authorities allege that 42-year-old Harold David Hallman of Duncannon met 26-year-old Erica Schultz of Bloomsburg and 25-year-old Tiana Phillips online. He allegedly bludgeoned and stabbed both women in a wooded area off Hobby Road in Butler Township. Hallman was found by a Norfolk Southern Railway police officer back on December 26th with a self-inflicted cut on his arm and told the officer he needed to die for his sins. Hallman's also a suspect in the disappearance of a Michigan woman and pled guilty to manslaughter in Germany back in 1999. Authorities say Hallman meets the criteria of a serial killer and faces charges of both criminal homicide and kidnapping in the deaths of Phillips and Schultz. Property owners in one Carbon County community will be seeing a property tax increase. The Weatherly Area School Board passed the 2021-22 budget that includes a 1 mil tax increase. Real estate taxes are currently set at 48.84 mils. The district's budget estimates over $15 million in expenditures and $14.2 million in revenues. Budget increases are expected to come from debt service payments, auditing services, and teacher contracts. The board's looking to add revenue through decreases in retirement and prescription rebate programs. 7 candidates will be interviewing with Luzerne County Council today to determine the acting county manager for Pedri's resignation next month. At the moment, Council is accepting applications for existing county employees under the supervision of the county manager's office. 2 higher-ranking members of county administration confirmed throwing their hats in the ring: Chief Solicitor Ramilda Crocamo and Administrative Services Division Head David Parsnick. A majority vote of the 11-member council will be needed to appoint an interim manager, and in the case of a permanent manager, a supermajority, or 7 votes, will be needed. The county's home rule charter states that a search committee will be formed to pick a new permanent manager. Wilkes-Barre City Police arrested a man after he crashed into a police cruiser early Saturday morning. Police attempted to stop 37-year-old Anthony Michael Van Horn for an equipment violation in the area of Old River Road just before 3 p.m. He allegedly fled at a high rate of speed, initiating a pursuit that involved crashing into a police cruiser and a sign. Van Horn was found to be wanted by the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office in Alabama on charges of aggravated assault. He was charged with fleeing or eluding police, flight to avoid apprehension, DUI, resisting arrest, and multiple vehicle violations, but was released on $50,000 unsecured bail. However, he was jailed on the arrest warrant in Alabama on $250,000 bail. An extradition hearing is scheduled for Wednesday in county court. A Wilkes-Barre man attacked a police sergeant Friday after being detained for allegedly shoplifting from Walmart. A store security officer told police that cameras caught 21-year-old Deontay Rajib walking out without paying. Atkins was taken to the security office, ran out, but was walked back by the responding township officer. That's when he threw grapes at the back of the store officer's head while using expletives, and smiled when telling the township officer he had an item in his pocket that could poke her. The police sergeant that arrived to assist was then bull rushed by Atkins into a filing cabinet and was treated for abrasions to both hands and numbness to his lower back. Atkins, however, was jailed at Luzerne County Prison for lack of $35,000 bail on charges of aggravated assault, simple assault, retail theft, and resisting arrest. Pittston City Police have released surveillance photos of a vehicle believed to be involved in an animal cruelty case. An 8-month-old pit bull, now named Nova, was found abandoned and emaciated near Davis Alley back on June 8th. Nova was evaluated by a veterinarian who found her severely underweight with a loss of muscle mass and little to no apparent body fat. She's currently being cared for and nursed back to health by the SPCA of Luzerne County. Video cameras captured a light-colored Ford Escape, possibly a 2008 to 2012 model, with a sunroof and license plate bracket. Traveling in the area, Nova was found abandoned around 4:30 the same morning. Anyone with information is being asked to contact the Pittston City Police Department at 570-654-2425. A bill was recently passed by the Pennsylvania House of Representatives that would increase penalties for criminals who harm or kill a canine officer. The bill, sponsored by Representative Jim Rigby, is also known as Titan's Law, named after the Johnston canine officer who was killed last year in the line of duty. The law also includes an amendment to add stricter penalties for anyone who harms or kills an animal while committing burglaries or criminal trespass. The State House passed the bill by a vote of 145 to 56, and now the bill awaits consideration by the Senate. The governor and state officials are asking the General Assembly to sign the Fairness Act into law in order to protect the rights of the LGBTQ+ community. Wyln's Julie Stefanovich has more on the story.
State officials and members of the LGBTQIA+ community met today at the state capitol in Harrisburg to reintroduce the Fairness Act, which would extend non-discrimination provisions to protect against discrimination based on an individual's sexual orientation or gender identity. As of right now, the system only protects some rights in some municipalities. Governor Tom Wolf is calling for change to protect all residents of the state.
We need a comprehensive legal solution to ensure that all Pennsylvanians can have lives without fear of discrimination and harassment based on who they are and who they love.
Wolf said that it's long past due for the Commonwealth to stop ignoring the infringements of the LGBTQ community.
Despite widespread public support for equal rights, we've seen devastating anti-LGBTQ+ efforts take hold in recent years. People in their workplaces, the military, schools, and sports teams have seen their rights and very existence debated and attacked. This is crushing because I know from my work in my own district that these public battles take a real toll on vulnerable populations that deeply need our support.
Representative Brian Sims says that LGBTQ+ youth are especially impacted by growing up in an environment where their rights aren't legally protected.
Bullying, discrimination, and harassment lead 40% of lesbian, gay, and bisexual youth to seriously consider suicide. And more than half of transgender and non-binary youth have considered the same.
Senator Nikhil Saval states that the Fairness Act is more than just about fairness. It's about dignity and righting the fundamental injustices.
This legislation is not only a bill, but a doctrine to enshrine your rights as a person because of who you are, and not in spite of it.
Advocates know that passing the law is long overdue and that it's also a common sense decision.
This is why it is vital that our state lawmakers, activists, and residents commit to doing the real grassroots work.
The governor is calling on the General Assembly to send the bill to his desk without delay. Reporting for Wyln News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Thank you, Julie. Coming up on Wyln News, tonight's forecast pushes graduation to tomorrow, plus details on the Pocono Raceway's Kids Fee initiative. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
My name is Charlie. I am 8, and the forecast for tomorrow is sunny.
2020, it was certainly challenging, but now there's light at the end of the tunnel, and that light is certainly bright. Enjoy our world-renowned water parks, classic resorts, breathtaking views, fabulous food. 2021 has arrived. We are back better than ever. Let's enjoy it. Find your enjoyment waiting at PoconoMountains.com.
Why don't you watch Let's Talk Chiropractic this week? You know, the average American is in 5.1 car accidents before they die. Kat was in a car accident. She chose chiropractic and massage. See how we changed her life.
Hey guys, this is Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazleton. We're talking about TNT. We're talking about trucks and trade-ins. If you got a truck that you don't want or you're looking for a truck, we've got a huge selection of pre-owned trucks right now. We have got Rubicons. We have got GMCs, Ford Flexes. We have got a Ram dually diesel. If you're in the market for a truck or you want to get rid of your truck, you'll never get more ever than it's worth right now. So come on down to 508 Susquehanna Boulevard in Hazleton and see why we'll give you more for the trade that those other guys won't.
Hazleton area's graduating class of 2021 will be postponing tonight's in-person commencement ceremony due to the predicted forecast. Wyln will be, however, proud to bring you live graduation coverage tomorrow night at 6 as the seniors make their way across the stage in front of the high school. So join us at 6 tomorrow night instead as we say hats off to this year's Hazleton area grads. Wyln's all-time OTC hero Marty Burns has the in-depth analysis of what's happening on and off-season across our viewing area. Pocono Raceway President Ben May is on this week, so let's talk sports. Here's part 2.
One of the things you mentioned that I was going to lead into, it's always great to get the younger fans involved. And you have a Pocono Raceway initiative called Kids Free, if you can explain that a little bit.
We do. A handful of years ago, you know, we took some time and we're like, okay, you know, what do we want for Pocono Raceway? Number two, what do we want to help grow the sport, which is a big deal for us. And we kind of took a look at what we do really well. And aside from putting on a pretty cool show that's authentic and true to who we are, kids and camping are two things to us that are very meaningful and you know, play well here at the racetrack. So we took on a kids free initiative where kids 12 and under can come to our cup races for free. And you know, the value of that, when you really break it down and really start thinking about a family of 4 or a family of 6 or a family of 5, if they have 3 kids under 12, mom and dad can bring the kids, all 5 of them, for $90 is the starting and the entry point. And we feel we're proud of that, right? We think, you know, I know you can't go to the movies for under $100 for a family of 5, but right. You can come to Pocono Raceway. You can see 2 races, interact with Tricky, go to a free carnival, have free parking, pack a lunch, bring a cooler. That's just a big deal to us and something we're really, really proud of.
Coming up on Hazleton's News Choice, we're talking red lights on this Trooper Talk Tuesday, plus Leading the Way, Part 2. Stay with us.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice,
everyday low prices,
plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
Don't miss Explore the Pocono Mountains 350. It's the green flag for 2021. Get your tickets at PoconoRaceway.com.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
What's on TV? Plenty. WYLN TV 35, the best in local programming.
Membership opportunities are now available at the Valley Country Club, 79 Country Club Lane in Sugarloaf. Clubhouse upgrades are in progress and will be ready for the spring. Call Frank Radis for details at 570-233-5328.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the midday WYLN News update, posted between noon and 2 p.m. Tomorrow's care starts today with Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton, your ER partner.
Don't miss Explore the Pocono Mountains 350. It's the green flag for 2021. Get your tickets at PoconoRaceway.com.
Hello folks, and welcome to Trooper Talk Tuesday here on WYLN. We are joined as always by State Trooper Anthony Petrosky. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so today we're talking about red lights. You know, those lights that you see around. We're in the city of Hazleton, so we see red lights all over the place, and if you're out there on the road, you'll see red lights plentiful. So why don't we just start off talking about the general basics of red lights. Folks, I know that this can be, kind of seems like it's a basic thing to understand, but you never know who needs a little bit of education about this.
Right.
So why don't we just start off with the basics?
Yes. So let's start off with the yellow going into the red, okay? So yellow does not mean speed up so you can beat the red light, okay? Yellow is letting you know it's changing into red, okay? So it's good to start slowing down so then come to a complete stop, because we're out there on the roads at all time, and we're watching these lights, especially when we're sitting at them. And if our light is turning green and you're going through your light, that means you went through a red light, okay? Come to a complete stop. Stop at the red, slow down when you see yellow, don't speed up. Slow down when you see yellow because you know red is approaching, and this way you could come to a complete stop. We investigate crashes every single day, and we call them crashes. We don't call them accidents, because if they're crashes, it means somebody did something to cause that. And we investigate them, and when we find out who's at fault, we cite that person. Okay, so yellow, slow down, stop at red. Now let's talk about the turning right on red, okay? One thing you have to do is you have to pay attention, because a lot of times when you're turning right or left, you may have an arrow. Don't be confused by that and the steady red or green light indicator, okay? Pay attention to your arrow if you have it. If you don't have the arrow, if you just have the green, you know you have to yield to oncoming traffic. Now, if you pull up to a red light and you're turning right, you have your blinker on because it is required, and there's a sign there that says no turn on red, you cannot turn on red. You have to wait until you have the green light. Now, if there is no sign, then you would treat that as a stop sign. You would pull up to the red light, you would come to a complete stop, use your turn signal, wait until it is safely turned. You could safely turn then on red as long as you came to a complete stop and there's no traffic coming, you could safely do it. The only time you could turn left at a red light is when you are on a one-way street turning left onto a one-way street. You could turn left on a red as long as you come to a complete stop and use your turn signal.
Oh, wow, I actually didn't know that one.
Always learning.
Yeah. And I guess this is kind of a question. You were mentioning that you guys deal with traffic incidents, and are traffic lights probably one of the more dangerous places on the road that you run into with just, I mean, it's a weird space with lights and everything going on. How does it fare comparatively to the rest of the road?
They're difficult because people are always in a hurry, and we should be leaving early, not making our time up on the road. But people are always in a hurry, and they want to beat that yellow light. Again, yellow is letting you know that red is right around the corner, and you should be slowing down to come to a complete stop. This will avoid these traffic crashes, and this will allow you to get where you're going safe and on time.
And if somebody runs a red light, what kind of fine, like what do they run into for doing such?
The fine can be anywhere from $125 to $175, plus points assessed to your license, which could lead to a license suspension.
Wow.
Not worth it.
No, definitely not. All right, folks, if you're out there on the roads and if you're at a traffic light, please remember all we've just talked about today. It's pretty basic. It's pretty simple just to follow the lights. Red means stop. Yellow means slow down. Green means go. And yellow, once again, does not mean speed up and run through. And there's multiple different situations you find yourself in at a red light. Just make sure you're paying attention to the signs. The signs around the traffic lights also tell you the kind of situation you can find yourself in. So thank you for talking with us.
Absolutely.
And thank you, folks, for joining us here on Trooper Talk Tuesday on Wyln.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
You know, Ashley, the Poconos, we do dining right.
Well, the cuisine is top-notch.
Right, and there's takeout for every taste. This has been a tough year, and we've been eating in and day out.
I forgot to light the stove.
Hey, no problem. I'll take care of it. You know, Ashley, I think we'll be going out tonight.
Leave the cooking to us. Find great dining options at PoconoMountains.com.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online. There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet trap and sporting clay fields are professionally designed and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-455-4251 extension 1378 for more information. WYLN CA35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the Children's Programming Report is on file for public inspection at WYLN 1057 East 10th Street in Hazleton, Pennsylvania during normal business hours. To view the report online, visit fcc.org.
WYLN's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Brian Uplinger is leading the way again into part 2 of this week's series.
And welcome back to Leading the Way. We are joined this week by Superintendent Brian Uplinger. So, when did you know that you'd want to be working in education? I know we talked about you were a lifeguard, so you decided, I want to work with kids, I want to teach them. How did you pursue that interest? And I guess after you kind of pursued that, where did that career, what happened between, becoming a teacher, deciding to become a teacher, to now superintendent?
Right, and that's been a whirlwind. And I have 25 years in education right now, but it just seems like yesterday that I started. Started the process with my college career at Penn State. Got into some education courses and student teaching and things of that nature, and this is me. This is what I really want to do. Elementary. I was am elementary certified, and when I was doing student teaching and going through all of the processes that you go through, it's like I really don't want to go any higher than elementary. I ended up becoming a high school principal and coached a high school swimming and diving team. So it was like, okay, I can still do this. This is going really well. I got my bachelor's from Penn State University. I got my master's in curriculum and instruction from Lock Haven University. Superintendent letter, principal certification, all of that from Edinburgh University.
And the position of superintendent, when did that become, where was that option available and you were like, you know what, yes?
Yeah, when I was a principal. When I became a principal of a junior senior high school, I thought, okay, there's one more step, one more rung that I could aspire to get. And during that time, I had a very good mentor, superintendent that I worked with in that district, and he said to me when I started, he said, well, why do you want to become a superintendent? I said, I just want to become just like you. And he starts giggling. He said, now you're crazy. You don't want to do this. But no, I finished the letter of eligibility and then moved into a superintendent position.
All right, folks, check back tomorrow for part 3 as Brian continues leading the way. Have a good night.
And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page or WYLNTV.com, where you can also find LVHN's real facts about COVID-19. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.